Hey everyone, my name is Screaming Joypad and welcome to the GOGCast. GOG.com's DRM-free podcast, broadcast live on Twitch. Now, firstly I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. I'd also like to remind people that you can catch all of our previous episodes of the GOGCast on YouTube, youtube.com/GOGCom, and also on SoundCloud now, soundcloud.com/GOGCom. And if you type in basically GOGCom into any of your social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch for this channel right here, Instagram, loads of others, you will basically find all the GOG.com related DRM-free game store information. Now, obviously, we're here because of GOGCom, the DRM-free store that offers you currently, I believe, over 1,500 DRM-free games. Now, these are games that when you purchase them, they're yours to keep. You don't have to have a connection to a secondary service, and there's no shenanigans like that. So, without further ado, that's kind of the intro bit out of the way. I'm going to start introducing my guests. So, if I just unmute my cohorts, joining me around the digital table this evening, we have the one and only Miss Pier and Jade. Hello, Pier and Jade.
Hello.
It's a wonder to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. We've also got Mr. Pieman. Hello, Mega Pieman PhD.
Yeah, how's it going?
Very well, thank you. And making her debut appearance on the GOGCast. My brain isn't working this evening. You'll have to bear with me. Yes, we have one of our latest streamers, Miss Psyche. Hello, Miss Psyche.
Hello, how is everybody?
Hopefully we're all doing alright, but essentially we're just going to be sitting around talking about games for a couple of hours, which kind of cheers most people up, so we're going to dive straight into it. Now, Pier and Jade, I know you know a little bit about some of the games that have been released this week. Now, one of them is a game called Lost Sea, and I don't really know an awful lot about it, so I was hoping, also whilst I fix the cameras on OBS, just for the video watchers, that you could talk about it for us.
Well, we have this list on our internal sheet where people can choose the games they want to stream, and I saw the game on it and Googled it, and I saw, oh, it has like graphics similar to Oceanhorn, which I enjoyed a lot, and then it's also an RPM, a randomized permadeath machine. 8-Bit will now be very, very proud of me, and so I thought, oh well, I try it out. So I've played a little bit with it, not as much as I wanted, because as people know, baby got sick this week, so I couldn't play and stream as much as I wanted. And so the release stream did not happen yesterday. I'm very, very sorry. It has been postponed until the indefinite future, because actually I had a very tough day yesterday, and so I got unreasonably annoyed at the game at one time, and that was just a very, very bad place to start. I like doing heavy streams, and I like presenting games without, being unreasonably salty or anything about it. So yeah, that couldn't happen. That wouldn't have been me. So Chad, I'm very, very sorry, but I'm sure you understand. So until then, I just push it back into the future. It is a very nice game. You're like an explorer who got stranded on an island, and you have to travel through a chain of little islands until the end, where there's a very mean-looking island with a skull castle. And if you die, it's over. And one thing I want to clear up, because I've seen it on the forum a lot, is that people claimed you have to play the game in one sitting, that there is no save option, and that's definitely not true. I've played enough to say that. It's just a little bit similar to Stardew Valley. So in Stardew Valley, the game automatically saves at the beginning of the day. So if you don't play through the game, but just end in the afternoon or something and go and quit, you will then have to redo all of that you have done in that day, because you start again in the morning. And it works similarly in Lost Sea. The game starts at the beginning of a new island, and you have to know that. And you also can't travel back to the island you were on previously, so you better be very careful in exploring everything and taking everything from every island you want. You can also get crew members. They travel to new islands with you, and they have special abilities, like they can open chests, or they can build bridges, or they can dig for treasure and stuff like that. So there's a lot to see in this game, but like I said, I'm not gonna talk too much about it, just so you have an impression what it's about. And if you have any kind of questions, that I'm totally happy to answer them. But yeah, that's what I would say about this game so far.
it sounds interesting, I must admit. And it's not the sort of game. I mean, I looked at it when I was looking at the games on the store today, obviously to see what had been released and what hadn't. It looked incredibly colourful. I don't know why I was expecting it to seem a bit grungy and a bit dirty. I don't know. There was just something about the title Lost Sea. It's a completely knee-jerk, sort of almost irrational reaction. But I just kind of imagined it to be a little bit like I'm not even sure. But it seemed really quite striking in its art style. Did you find that a lot while you were playing it?
Actually, the first enemy you encounter is a colorful bird. And it does not even attack you immediately. So I was like, oh, look, there's a bird. Hello, bird. It doesn't do anything. It's looking around. Oh, bird. And then so I went next to it and was still like, hello, little bird. And then I just went too close and touched it, and I just got like 10 points of damage. I was like, no! And then I hit it until it was dead. So yeah, the game is very colorful. I like that. I liked it in Oceanhorn, and I generally like my games colorful. I'm not one for scary games, if everybody knows. And so, The Last Door, I will finish that one day. It's a promise. And
you liar.
Yeah. I will do it. I really will. And it's a colorful game, and I like it. There's also a shark. There's a really, really big shark in that game. I also like that. I was like, oh, look at the big shark.
Cool. It sounds really cool, I must admit. And it completely passed me by when it was released. I've got to openly and be completely honest about that. But that's not really going to be a massive surprise to people at this stage, to be perfectly honest. A lot of the games that are released, I either only just find out about them before we go live on the GOGCast, or I'm so passionately into them that I'm shouting from the rooftops about them forever. There's no middle ground. There's no, oh yeah, I've heard of that game. That sounds really good. It's either I have no idea what this is, or oh my god, this is the best thing ever, basically. Yeah, so it sounds good, I must admit. Have you been playing much else this week?
Have I been playing much else? No, I've been watching quite some streams, actually. I normally don't get around for this all too much, and I currently can't type in chat because I'm very often holding a baby. What have I played? I've played a little bit of
natural lurker.
I'm such a natural lurker currently, like lurk. And I've been playing some Barony on my own. I've been playing some Lost Sea. Have I played anything else this week? Well, it's only Thursday, so there's still some hope for me, but I don't think... I think that was it so far.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Now, I know a certain game has been released this week that a certain streamer has been incredibly passionate about over the last number of weeks. And indeed, over the last number of GOGcasts, actually, possibly every GOGcast this has been mentioned. It is, of course, Slime Rancher. Now, this is the game that Megapam and PhD got a GOG wish list together, basically, and promoted it everywhere he could, basically. And I think you were pretty instrumental in getting that to GOG, to be perfectly honest with you, Mr. Pyman. So I want to hear about it.
I don't know about that. I'm not quite sure whether or not the wish list that I put out there actually did much of anything, or that me constantly tweeting at the developers actually did anything. I don't know. I would like to think that it did. And because of that, I would like to attempt this just to try to continue out the experiment to see whether or not we're actually able to kind of influence the wish list to bring really cool projects, or just make you aware of really cool games that maybe you would want to see on GOG.com. I like them so far. I would like to start promoting a different game now that Slime Rancher has finally come to GOG.com. And the game that I'm going to be showing off now is a game called Cook Serve Delicious. Now, if you've never played Cook Serve Delicious, it's the... I'm not exactly what to sort of call it. It's not a rhythm game or what kind of category it is. Basically, you have a guy running a restaurant in a corporate tower or something like that, and people show up in the line, and they give you an order of what they want, depending upon what you are serving that day, and then you have to complete these very quick and precise, almost quick time events, but more in detail, kind of like mini games, more so. These very quick mini games of pressing the correct keys on your keyboard as quickly as you can to create what they want and give it to them as quickly as you can. Make sure you do it correctly and make sure that they get it within time before they get mad and just leave. It's a very hectic game. It's a very cool game. I've played both the PC version and the mobile version. The mobile version's not that great because the controls kind of suck. The PC version's really good. And unfortunately, I tweeted at the developer of Cook Serve Delicious, and they said that they tried to get this game on GOG.com twice, and GOG turned them down, which I'm very surprised by because it's a very good game. You know what they say, third time's a charm. So I'm going to be linking in the chat right now the link to the wish list on GOG.com for Cook Serve Delicious. It's got 148 votes as of right now. We'll see if we can get some more votes for it and see whether or not GOG wants to give this game another shot. It does have some sort of multiplayer, I believe, where you can play against other players. I haven't done that, but it sounds nuts.
Honestly, if Cook Serve Delicious ends up being on GOG, it might be very dangerous for me.
It's a great game.
Saying.
It's a great game.
She was never seen again.
Exactly.
And it would be perfect to fill the void of GOG.com of food-related games. Because right now, the only one that I can think of that is specifically food, restaurant, or anything like that related is particularly for Restaurant Empire, which is not the greatest game in the world, doesn't like always to run, and I tried to stream it a while back, but unfortunately I couldn't get it in a stable position to actually be able to show it off, which is a bit of a darn shame. Plus, it'd be really, really cool and make for some really nice streams if we could get the multiplayer to work over GOG.com to have a couple of streamers go against each other. But anyway, that's about Cook Serve Delicious. Let's talk about the game that is on GOG.com. And I'm just going to like talk for like 5 minutes straight here about Slime Rancher.
That's fine.
It's a fantastic game about ranching slimes. If you've ever had the desire in your life to ranch slimes, this is the game for you. I don't know how much it compares to other ranching games like Monster Rancher, but so far I've really enjoyed it. It's kind of a Harvest Moon thing, kind of a Stardew Valley thing. You play as a character. Yeah, it's a little bit like that. You play as a character called Beatrix LeBeau. She goes to another planet to become a slime rancher. You never see any of the other farmers, but you can talk to them through different emails, or at least you get them from different emails. There's one rancher called Bob who basically only ever says chicken to you because all he does is raise chickens. So there's tons of different kinds of slimes there you want to get, and your goal is you collect the slimes using your vac pack. It's a suck cannon. If you ever played Ratchet and Clank and you know what the suck cannon is, it's a suck cannon. It's got a vortex on it. You suck up stuff, and then you shoot out the stuff you sucked up. It's like a vacuum cleaner or that. There you go. It's pretty self-explanatory. But what you want to do is you want to collect slimes, bring them back to your base, put them in a corral area so you can keep them in one spot. You want to feed them until they create what's called, or literally crap out something called a plort. Then you want to collect the plorts and sell the plorts for cash. And the slimes are actually really, really cool because the slimes sort of evolve depending upon what they're exposed to. And there's tons of different kinds of slimes. You've got pink slimes, which are your most basic. They always have a smile on their face. They're adorable. Everything in this game is just ridiculously adorable. There's tons of color and everything in it. Look up images on Google of it, and you'll fall in love with it almost immediately. But you've got pink slimes, you've got rock slimes, you've got tabby slimes, which are cat slimes. You've got golden slimes. You've got radioactive slimes. You have puddle slimes that are slimes made out of water. You have ludivacy? That's the wrong word. That's not a word.
The glowing
ones. The glow in the dark ones.
Okay.
Yeah, those kinds of slimes. Every single one's a little bit different. The pink ones are just your normal slime ball you would see in 101 different kinds of fantasy video games. But your rock slimes will roll around as boulders every now and then, and will attack you if you're not careful. The glow-in-the-dark ones have wings that they'll fly around. The cat ones like to jump all over the place. So you need to figure out exactly how you need to care for these particular things when you build your corrals so that they don't escape the corral. And there's different kinds of food to give them as well. You've got carrots. You have things called cube berries, which are basically just block strawberries. You've got potatoes and that kind of a thing. Every single kind of slime eats something different. The pink ones eat anything. The tabby slimes only eat meat, and the meat that's available is chickens. So you got to raise chickens. You got to have a garden to raise the different kinds of fruit and vegetables to make sure that you can feed the stuff you have. You can get automatic feeders for the corrals. You can get auto plort collectors for the corrals. There's a lot of running around just to check and make sure everything is operating the way that you want it to. And that's something that I have a little bit against Slime Rancher. The game is spaced out a lot more than I would necessarily like, because you can only build corrals and gardens and whatnot on specific plots of land. And you can unlock more plots of land, but they're farther away from where your main house is. So it's kind of annoying to have to constantly run around between all the different corrals you have going on to make sure everything works properly. But specific slimes need specific things. The puddle slimes need water or they'll evaporate. The glowfly slimes can't get in the sun for too long or they'll die. So you've got to either get a sun shield for your corral or put them in a cave if you unlock the cave. It's really, really interesting to make sure that you try to make the most amount of value, because every single slime makes a different kind of plort. Every plort is worth a different value. The values change almost every single day, so you have to keep an eye on how the particular board that tells you the values of those change. So there's a lot to manage and constantly keep you invested with everything that's going on. Plus, slimes can evolve. So if you take a pink slime and feed it a tabby slime plort, it'll then turn into what's called a largo, which is a combination of pink and tabby, and will create two plorts at that point, one tabby plort and one pink plort. And you can do this from what I've seen, every single kind of slime can mesh with every other single kind of slime. I had exploding rocks at one point. I tried to make radioactive glowflies at one point. So it's crazy just trying to figure out the correct combinations to keep everything alive, everything working correctly, to maximize the amount of cash you have. And of course, everything you make needs cash, so you got to make cash, to spend cash, to make cash, to spend cash. The thing that I like about this game, more so than something like Harvest Moon, and more so than something like Stardew Valley, is that because with those kind of games, there are only a couple of locations you can go to really do stuff. Most of the time you're spending around in your one location where your farm is. And in Slime Rancher, you do spend a lot of time around the main hub of where your farm is. But if you want different kinds of slimes, if you want to find better ways and new kinds of vegetables and stuff, you actually have to go out into the planet and explore your way around to go and find them and then bring them back. Plus there's Gordo slimes, which are giant fat slimes, and if you feed them enough, they'll explode. Sometimes they'll give you a key that you can use to unlock a slime door to open up a new area. Other times they'll be sitting on a teleporter that you'll be able to unlock. They'll teleport you back to a different location. So there is a whole crap going on in Slime Rancher, and this game is not even done yet. This game is on version 0.3.4 right now. It's part of the games and development program on GOG.com. So I can't imagine how ridiculous this thing is going to be once it's finally finished. Because right now it's very complex. It's got a very solid idea of what it wants to be. It's got some really awesome looking graphics going to it. I haven't come across much issues at all. The only thing I would like to see is maybe have the teleporters closer to where your house is, so you don't have to go looking for teleporters to teleport somewhere else, because that's the only thing I find kind of annoying with, if you're out really far, you have to go all the way back. Something that you had to kind of do in SteamWorld Dig before you unlock teleporters you could buy. The farther out you go, the farther back you got to go.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always tell you exactly where your house is either. So I wish they would do something like that. Maybe there was something like that in the future. But if you're into those sort of management farming kind of games, you're probably really going to like Slime Rancher. I haven't heard anybody say anything really negative about it, and considering the fact that it's not even finished yet, it seems like a good dollar value because there's a lot to do, there's a lot to experiment with, but you do have to be careful with your experiments because if your slimes eat too many different kinds of plorts, they'll turn into a tar slime, which does not create plorts, but instead will try to kill you and spread to all of the slimes around the particular area. So you can very quickly turn your farm into nothing but a bunch of tar balls that want to go out and destroy everything, which is not good. Not good at all. You can throw them off the edge if you want to, or you can use water to get rid of them, but that's outside of that, experimentation is really the name of the game when it comes to Slime Rancher, just to figure out what's the best way to do everything to maximize your profits. It's a game of efficiency, I guess, but with a lot of exploration that you don't find in a lot of other kinds of stuff. It's like last Friday, the Crocs and I, we showed off a game called Factorio, which is kind of like that, where you have to build your manufacturing and stuff. But even in Factorio, you can't explore in Factorio, because if you explore in Factorio, you're going to be killed by the aliens. In a lot of these kinds of games, you don't really want to explore all that much, because either there's nowhere to go, or you're too afraid that if you get out somewhere, you'll get stuck and die, because you have no way to deal with it except back at your base. You don't have to worry about it in Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher, it's all about experimenting to make more cash and exploring to uncover as many areas as possible. And I really like it. I'm a big fan of it. I definitely recommend checking it out if you're into any kind of management sort of deal. And there's my bid on Slime Rancher.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was so much management behind it, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm quite intrigued by the fact that there's so much, like, actually, in all fairness, you said it's a little bit like Harvest Moon, and my brain immediately went, must purchase! So, yep. I don't know, my brain just sort of did that. Has anybody else played Slime Rancher? Is anybody else interested in it? What about Pure and Jade or Psyche?
I haven't played it yet, but I have been looking at it recently, because I've heard really good things about it, and I don't know if you guys know, but I'm kind of mildly addicted to Stardew Valley.
Actually, that was the first stream I saw of you when I first started watching you on Twitch.
Really?
Yes, you're playing Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I'm slightly addicted to Stardew Valley. I really like it. I never played Harvest Moon, but Stardew Valley just, I don't know, it struck a chord with me. I liked how colorful it was. I liked the management that you kind of had to do. It wasn't too intense, but it was still just involved enough that it kept me interested. And then before I knew it, I'd spent like 80 hours in game, and it was ridiculous. So Slime Rancher looks like one I might have to pick up. And it doesn't really help that Mega Pieman has been talking about it, and it's just sounding better and better the whole time.
Some people have also compared it a little bit to Animal Crossing. I don't know how much it compares to that game.
Oh no, then I am so screwed.
That
I'm going to buy this point, and I'm going to buy Stardew Valley. And then I'm going to retire from video games, just completely.
Yeah, you pretty much, once you hit that, you're done. There's nothing more to do after that. You're going to be in that forever.
As the Hermit Bundle.
I recommended Stardew Valley to my sister, and like 10 days later, she called me like, "What have you done?
Yes!
What have you done?"
I had a job.
I had a life before you.
Yeah.
I bought this for a friend, and it didn't go very well. She really liked it, but I bought it for a friend as a joke, because she told me that she was wanting to raise chickens in real life. So I was like, jokingly, you should learn how to raise chickens in this game first, and then you can raise chickens in real life. And then she messaged me like a week later and went, "You have ruined my life."
I don't know how close to Animal Crossing Slime Ranch actually is, because you don't interact with anybody else, really. There's an email system that you can use to receive emails from the company when there's new upgrades available, or from other farmers when they want to introduce themselves. But at this point, you're not going to find anybody who's just out in the open. The most you get with interaction is that there is an exchange machine that updates, I believe, every in-game day at noon with something new. It's like some particular farmer wants this particular thing. Like they want 3 chickens and 2 different kinds of fruit. And if you get that to them, you'll give that to them, and then they'll give you something in return. So that's the most interacting there is as of now. I don't know if they're going to add more in-game interaction with other characters in the future. I don't know if that's something that, I believe the developers are called Monty Park, something like that. I don't know if that's necessarily something that they're particularly going for, but it doesn't have that sort of interactive element with other characters that you have in Animal Crossing, that you have in Stardew Valley, that you might have in Harvest Moon. I know I've never really played Harvest Moon. But in place of that, you have exploration, which I like better, personally. I find it a lot more interesting to go out and explore the area, but somebody else who really likes that sort of interaction between different characters may not like that that's not there.
You kind of sold me on it, to be perfectly honest. It's definitely going on my wish list, and it's... I don't know, I'm probably going to have to get it.
Screaming Joypad, as soon as you've seen the cat slimes, the tabby slimes, it's over. It's just over.
Oh, yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be the thing, isn't it? That's going to be the selling point for me.
Monomi Park. That's it. Monomi Park. That's the developer. Thank you,
It's
Campbell
not even
Nebula.
that expensive. It's 19% off on the store at the moment. It's 12 English pounds and 9 English pence. Figure that out in your own currency, to be perfectly honest. But it's cheap. From the sounds of it, from a game with that kind of depth in it, it seems quite cheap. And it is currently in development. Bloody hell, that is colourful, isn't it? Good lord.
Yeah, I love the aesthetics and the art design for that game. It's great.
I know I've looked at this before, and I've probably said that exact thing, like when you originally said, vote for Slime Rancher to come to GOG. But bugger me, that is colourful. That's like somebody vomited up a Crayola set.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so am I. I'm totally
wonderful.
fine with this. I'm totally fine with it. It's basically, it gives you that sort of sense of an innocent video game. It's one of the reasons why I love the Rayman games so much, because they're always really colourful and really crisp. They always felt like they were almost hand animated. They were really cool. Yeah, so I'm pretty sold on.
Well, that was why I really wanted to try and push it once the games in development thing came out, because it's one of those, a lot of games nowadays, well, there's a good amount of them that they come out in like the alpha or beta state, and they're not ready to show the public. They are not in any state to be played whatsoever. They're in heavy development state, and they have a long way to go. But Slime Rancher, ever since I've seen it really being shown to the public, it's always been in a very good playable state. I haven't seen it in any kind of unplayable area. They did show some concept stuff of when they first started on it, where it was really rough. But at this point that it is in its development cycle, there's a lot to go on right now, even though it's not finished. And it's still got a ways to go. I think the developer may have announced a release date they're planning on. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but they're definitely doing the sort of games and development thing correctly, in my opinion. And I'm glad that GOG decided to pick them up with that.
Yeah, there's sometimes that I find that they, like developers, like you say, they release them early, and it's almost like it's just too soon. And that can really make a big difference. And from what you've said, there's just so much to do in Slime Rancher already that it really has been released at a really good time, and that's really cool.
It does. Definitely, I'm just looking at screenshots now, to be perfectly honest. I'm completely ignoring the podcast. I'm just like, God, this looks really nice. This looks really lovely. Yeah, I'm sold on it. I really am. I know you've been very passionate. You've been very vocal about it over the last ever. But I think it's really cool that this kind of game, it was bright, colourful. It looks like it's got a unique selling point as well. It's not just generic idea with a different cell shading around it. It's basically a case of you explain the idea and you sort of like, I don't really know any other games that do that, especially because it's first person as well.
I can't think of one other. There have been other sort of ranching kind of games. Like before I mentioned Monster Rancher, but I think that was more of a Pokemon knockoff. But I honestly,
it was.
I honestly can't think of anything off the top of my head that tries to do what they're doing in Slime Rancher at all, really.
Yeah, it's one of the things I love about the whole GOGCom store. To be perfectly honest, every now and then you'll get a game that's got a really cool idea around it. It doesn't have to be the best game in the world by all means, but it's always got a unique idea around it, which I really like. But yeah, Slime Rancher, 19% off. Go and buy it.
I have one more Slime Rancher thing to say. I have to admit.
I should be an advertiser. Yeah, sorry, Bear and Jake, go on.
Some of you might remember the old Meg Hall comics by Meg Conville and that other guy. And if I'm not totally mistaken, Ian McConville is actually working on Slime Rancher. And might want to follow his Twitter for that. He tweets as Polygon Cherub and sometimes shares little tidbits of the development. So that might be interesting for people who like that game.
Okay, cool. Yeah, also any links or anything for the video watchers, for the watchers of the video on demand or the YouTube or the audio, there will be links in various descriptions for any links mentioned in the broadcast as well, so don't worry about that. Yeah, so that was Slime Rancher. Go and buy Slime Rancher.
Buy it.
It was lovely, to be perfectly honest. It was bloody lovely. Right, what else is released this week? We've got, is it Celestian Tales? So the Celestian Tales game is basically just done a humongous game dump onto the store, haven't they? There's like a game, some DLC, a soundtrack, one of the developers, that sort of thing. Anything you want to purchase there is just on the store at the moment. So I've absolutely, this has come out of nowhere. Again, I'm either one way or the other. I either know everything about the game or absolutely bugger all. I know absolutely bugger all about this. So this is completely open to anyone who knows what Celestian Tales actually is.
I've streamed it here on GOG.
That's fantastic! Almost as if this was planned. This one.
I have no clue how that could have happened. Yeah, I streamed it back when it was released on GOG, and I have not finished it since yet, but I liked it a lot actually. You can choose to play the game from the viewpoint of different characters. I think from 6 or 7 different characters actually, and they are all very nice except for that one really, really annoying, cute little elf girl. And
one.
yes, and she's really like me, and she doesn't even like me so cute, me know nothing, hee hee hee, and it's just like, please stop. But I've heard her story gets better if you play her story, which I have not. And they had a big update back in June, if I remember correctly, where they actually addressed some critique they had received for the gameplay. And from what I've heard, the game has been better since that a lot. So people are very, very happy with the changes, which have sped up the combat, for example, and stuff like that. So yeah. I'm thinking of doing an encore stream and check out the DLC, which has some new costumes and a new storyline with one of the characters which is actually mentioned in the base game, but not in the base game yet. And yeah. I know everybody's like, oh, horse armor, but I have to admit I'm a sucker for costume packs. I just like that stuff. I really like that stuff.
No, let's not be honest. Everyone who went horse armor probably bought horse armor.
Oh, come on, of course they did.
I bought horse armor, and I was one of the first people I knew to sort of go, horse armor? What will they think of next? And secretly I'm like, God, I really want some horse armor. I wonder what it looks like.
I have to admit, actually, the first thing I say whenever they talk about DLC and stuff is, do you remember horse armor? Ugh, stupid horse armor. But then you're like, why does this game not have it?
It's a genius move. It was an absolutely genius move.
Because no one wants to admit that they actually wanted it.
Everyone calls it stupid because they didn't think of it first. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's tons of stuff out for this game at the moment, isn't there? There's the new costumes, there's the OST, and having a quick look on the actual store itself, at the minute, I believe, is it the Celestian Tales Old North? Is that the actual base game?
Because
if you type in Celestian Tales into GOG.com's search, fantastic search function. That's not a joke. It's actually a really good search function, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. So Old North is the base game. Celestian Tales Old North. Okay. Old North is the base game. So Celestian Tales Howl of the Something is the new storyline.
Yeah.
And then there's the alternative costumes, and then there's the original soundtrack. So 4 things, and if you add them all up, I think you end up for somewhere below €10. Yeah. And from my experience with the game, I mean, it's always a tastes are different, but I would say it's really, really worth that. So get it.
What kind of game is it?
Sorry.
It's kind of a JRPG-ish game. So
it's like a Final Fantasy?
It looks a little bit more like... Do you remember Suikoden on the PlayStation?
Suikoden? I've heard of it, I've never played it.
Suikoden. It's like that sort of... It's your kind of stereotypical, colourful... Or it looks like your stereotypical, colourful JRPG format. So it's not isometric, top-down, two-dimensional, walking around a village, and every time a character talks, it's like a very picturesque anime portrait of their face, that sort of thing. I can't. There's a couple of them that look exactly like it. I just can't remember them. They're not coming to mind, unfortunately.
Oh, and the characters age, so you play the characters at different stages of their lives, and I really like that.
That's actually kind of interesting.
And some of them some of them look like really badass when they get older.
Is it going to be like
Sean Connery badassery we have there?
Baron Jade, is it like Fable, and if you plant a tree when you're a child, when you grow up, it'll be a fully grown tree?
No. but kind of. Then still again, yes. Just play it yourself. I don't want to spoil stuff.
I do like the art style.
Just play it. A lot of games. Just play it.
A lot of games that do this, not to try to rack on RPG Maker, but they all kind of look the same because they all kind of do the old school RPG Maker 16-bit graphics, which at this point I've seen so many indie games that look like that. It almost immediately makes me uninterested because I've seen so many of them that look and kind of play very similar. But I do like the particular art style with this, which does make me a bit more interested in the product.
Is that more because you've got stuff like RPG Maker on the market now?
I don't know. Maybe it's just because there have been a crap ton of turn-based I don't even, you can't even call it strategy games, but just turn-based combat. At least for me, has really worn out its welcome when it comes to the sort of Final Fantasy JRPG style of thing. So
it's been around for a very long time, and it's probably been done to death by most people. But every now and then, I think it's quite cool that you still get one that sort of surprises you a little bit. But I've never played Silson Tales, so I don't know if it's one of them.
It takes a really interesting game with interesting ideas to really make it stand out. Like Lisa was a game that did that sort of thing, although it was more of an Earthbound kind of combat, and it was very odd, which is how it was able to keep itself interesting. Another game that did that was Boot Hill Heroes, but they messed around with the formula of how everything worked to make things a bit more timed on it, which was very interesting. And I'm interested to see what, if anything, Celestian Tales does to try to change up that kind of combat.
Yeah, it looks like just literally no other information other than the screenshots. It does look like that expected standard turn-based style combat. Almost, I don't know, the actual art style of the game itself looks like it's taken from a much later genre, a much later generation of gaming, but the actual combat itself looks like it's taken from maybe some of the original Final Fantasies, that sort of thing, which, all fairness, when you played them, wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I think it's just that staple mechanic has been around for quite a long time now, and it would be very interesting to know if it's doing anything different with it, or if it's just a case of you go in and you're like, oh, it's Final Fantasy combat, I mean,
I guess that's all right if you're somebody who plays games more for story, and the game's got a very in-depth, interesting story for you. I'm not saying
stories.
Well, there are games that have better stories. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. No one plays games for stories. It's fine. People watch movies for stories. People don't play games for stories.
Dude, Doom has the best story.
Just waiting for the torrent of
I'm holding my tongue right now, but
I did wonder why you'd both gone quiet.
Doom has the best. Wait, hang on a second. What?
Doom it's got
whoa.
The game and the movie for Doom have the best story you've ever seen.
Don't get me wrong. I love Doom.
I'm kidding.
I love Doom more than words can express, okay? But the best story?
The whole point of Doom is that at the end you find out that the demons killed your pet rabbit, so you're getting vengeance upon them. That's the plot of Doom 2, I believe.
Is this a game that only you've played? Did you dream this? Is this another fever dream?
Did you hit your head? Doom 2 or Final Doom?
I
actually don't know.
I'm gonna hold my hand up and say I don't remember a rabbit, but
Chat, please back me up here. Don't make me look like more of an idiot than I already am.
It definitely wasn't in the movie, though. I'm just saying that there was no rabbit in the movie.
No, but there was Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
There was The Rock, and that's enough for me. That's
all you need.
The movie, the movie is up there with probably Mortal Kombat in regards to it's so bad it's good. It's kind of flavour, to be perfectly honest. As a standalone movie, it's awful. Personally, like it's really terrible. But if you go,
Doom Guy's rabbit's name? Daisy, I think.
I love the fact that his name is Doom Guy.
That's not on GOG. Daisy is not on GOG.
It's a completely different game.
We've gone way off topic now.
Ultimate Doom had the rabbit at the end. Okay, Ultimate Doom gave you that tidbit of story there. There we go. Yeah, Doom Guy actually does have a name apparently in books.
Yeah, I don't remember. Him Doom Guy, like that's his name.
He is Doom Guy. He's definitely Doom Guy. People are saying in chat right now that the rabbit is part of the story, part of the Doom story, but I don't know how much of that is true and how much of that is just complete trolling. To be perfectly honest, I only believe half of what chat ever says. To be perfectly honest,
I wouldn't lie to you.
Love you, chat.
Mike. I wouldn't lie like that.
No, I have a feeling that someone's lied to you, and you're now believing it. That's my fear. That's my fear. You were there, man. You saw the things.
I beat the game, so either the game would have had to have lied to me. I don't know if I almost said 3D Realms when it wasn't. If id went that far to lie to you about it, they just made one specific version that you can randomly find where it ends with a rabbit at the end. All the others just has.
Did you make a ROM hack of this? Alright, I think we've talked about Doom enough, to be perfectly honest. It was probably in there. I'm not going to deny it. Because it seems like the sort of thing
Doom, I saw the Doom run on SGDQ that's happening right now.
Oh man, I was hoping you weren't going to talk about SGDQ. I've been watching it constantly.
Can we please talk about SGDQ?
We can talk about SGDQ. If other people wish to talk about SGDQ, I'm happy talking about it because speedruns are just awesome, to be perfectly honest with you. And
I'll be honest. I love the idea behind SGDQ, but considering how absolutely useless I would be at doing a speedrun, I feel a little bit incompetent when I watch it.
Crazy. They speedran Deus Ex yesterday. Yeah. They speedran System Shock, the enhanced edition of System Shock. I didn't even know you could do that. They did.
Yeah, apparently so.
There was just an amazing speedrun of Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, where the guy's running the game. It was a slow descent into madness, which is what it was. It was a sight to see. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up on YouTube. The Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy speedrun for SDGQ.
It's really, really
2016. Yeah. A guy loses his mind. It's great. They raised a ton of money too.
Oh, they always do. They always do, and it's always for really good causes. Like I know AGDQ is always for like the Prevent Cancer Foundation, and SGDQ is normally for like Doctors Without Borders. So I mean, you can't argue with them, to be perfectly honest. And all the streamers, they're not like they foot the bill for the streamers to go there. All the streamers they pay to go there themselves. They all put money towards it as well. So it's not like they're kind of flying celebrity speedrunners in from the other side of the world for thousands of dollars. It's like, you are probably the best speedrunner of this game. Do you want to come and be on, SGDQ or AGDQ and have hundreds of thousands of people watch you speedrun a game? You're not going to say no, are you?
I do want to bring this up, considering that we here at GOG.com do have our own resident speedrunner with Immersed Simp.
We do.
Kimp, however you say that. Would it be possible to, at some point, get him to a GDQ for some GOG.com representation?
I don't know why he's not already there. He's a brilliant runner. If you don't follow Immerse Kim, definitely go and follow him because he's an absolutely fantastic speedrunner. He is a sort of streamer that I have on in the background whenever I'm doing work because he's almost hypnotic. Like, not in a bad way.
Oh,
not
yes.
Not in a bad way, but he just gets in this mindset where he just gets in the speedrunning mode. And I was watching him play Dark Souls 1, and before I knew it, he'd done Dark Souls 1, and he was on Dark Souls 2. And I was like, I missed that! How did I miss you finish the game? I completely missed it.
I was like totally disinterested in speedruns of any kind, and then I just switched into one of Immerse Kim's streams and was sitting there like, oh yes, please. Go on, yes. Oh yeah, go on. 2 hours have passed. What has happened? And it was really, it's amazing. But I think one of the reasons he's not there is he lives in Europe, so he has quite a long way to travel.
This is true.
I guess it makes sense.
This is very true.
It would be great if we could somehow, I don't know all the games he runs, but have him do like maybe one of the Witcher games or something at one of the GDQs, wearing a GOG.com T-shirt.
That would be cool. I'm not gonna lie, that would be very, very cool.
We'd be all like, we know that guy, we know that guy.
Yeah, we know that dude. We'd all be donating during that portion, just like insane in-jokes.
We could host it. We could host it on GOG.com Twitch.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I would be totally down for that. To be perfectly honest,
I'm gonna send that idea to Outstar, and maybe we could get some sponsorship from GOG.com to send him over next year or something. That'd be awesome.
Send it up the chain of command. That's the only way we can do things these days. Run the flag up and see if it flies in the wind. I should also probably run the idea
by him, considering he's the one to be doing it.
No, don't do that. Just like, hey, I put your name forward for this. By the way, you're going halfway across the world next week. See ya.
And I only switched once into Games Done Quickly this time for the blindfolded Castlevania run. If somebody
that was mental.
That guy, that were nerves of steel. Seriously, when he was like, when he found out that one of the buttons on his controller wasn't working, and he was like totally unfair. Like, okay, now we found out what's wrong.
He was like,
and so we're just not gonna use this button anymore. And I was like, whoa. Dude, how can you even sit down with these balls? It was really, it was amazing, and I couldn't watch it all. And this morning I've got a baby, so I've get up at very stupid hours. And so this morning at 6 o'clock or something, 6 a.m., I also found out that there's a pinball machine at the place where it's taking place, and sometimes people go there and play pinball. So you can also watch the Games Done Quick people play pinball there. But when I was watching
it's Pinball Joe, isn't it? Because he makes pinball machines live or something like that. I'm sure that's what happens.
Pinball Done Quick or something like that.
Pinball Done Quick. I think it's by Pinball Joe or something like that. I'm sure he's part of it. I'm sure one of the reasons that Pinball Done Quick is a thing.
I've never seen one of those.
No, neither have I.
Sounds interesting.
I can't imagine how you would do Pinball Quick. I don't understand that. Like,
I can't do pinball slow, man.
Yeah.
I can't do pinball. Yeah, no, it's not a skill I have.
I don't pinball. I can't pinball.
I love pinball, but I can't play it with.
I had a pinball machine as a teenager in my room.
Wow.
I love pinball. Yes, I like pinball. Played a lot with my cool. Father. He collects old pinball machines and repairs them. So sometimes as a family outing, we actually go and play pinball on 6 different machines he has in his place. And even my 4-year-old son can already play pinball. It looks like this, but he can do it.
Yeah.
That is
the most
cool.
pinball I played in my life was 3D Space Cadet.
Oh, what was the most I've played? I don't remember.
I used to play. There used to be an arcade. Cause I grew
the one
up in,
that came with the computer.
Yeah, I grew up in Blackpool in England. Don't hold that against me or anything for anybody who knows what Blackpool is. But there's basically lots of arcades on the seafront. So it's a seaside town. So there's a lot of resorts, a lot of arcades, and there were some where in between, like where you'd have like Jurassic Park the game and Time Crisis and House of the Dead 1, you'd also have like the over 18s area, which was full of just insanely stupid slot machines. But halfway through that, you'd have like semi grown up games, so like pinball machines. I definitely remember. I can't remember if it was the A-Team or Addams Family. I'm pretty sure it was the Addams Family pinball machine that I used to just sink just tons of money into for no real reason.
The Addams Family pinball machine is awesome. It's a really, really good one. There are a few pinball machines out there where I would say legendary, and that's one of those.
Yeah, it was really good. I remember it being the only one I ever really got into. Like, I'd try a couple of others, and they just seemed a bit rubbish, and I don't know why, because surely there's no bad way of making a pinball machine. I'm assuming there is, obviously, but...
Oh yes, there are bad out there.
It was just really well made. I don't know, it was just really strange. There was just something about it. There was something, like, now I think about it, and I've got this little sort of spark of nostalgia. I'm just like, God, yeah, that was a really good arcade machine. That was a really good pinball machine. That and Time Crisis, and like I said, House of the Dead 1, that I've probably got an affinity with, but that's about it, really. And
House of the Dead 1 is basically, it's a requirement if you have any kind of arcade anywhere. You've got to have, like House of the Dead 1 or House of the Dead 2. You've got to have one of those.
I think it's a law.
It's a law, man.
I think it's a law. I do. I think it's some sort of European... I was about to say
European
Union
legislation. Doesn't matter how old those games get. They've always got to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Every arcade you go to, every seaside town in the UK, every arcade you go into, or anything with electronic games, or like the 2p machines where the little metal thing that sort of pushes 2p's off a ledge, there's always a Time Crisis machine or a House of the Dead machine just sat in the corner, looking a bit unused and abused, that sort of thing.
Just one last thing about SGDQ.
Yes.
I think Sunday or Saturday they're going to be doing a speed run of Typing of the Dead, which I hope I catch that, because that's going to be nuts.
That's going to be mental. That's it.
That's all I got to say about
it. I think I've seen one. I think I've actually seen one of them before, and you don't see the words. Like, they type them in so quickly, you don't see the words. It's crazy.
I should do that. I'm really good at typing really fast.
There you go.
My only skill in life.
Now,
it's not very good skill. I'll be honest.
You say this. Now, is what you're typing actually words? Because if you're typing words, I'm okay. If we're just typing, I can type really fast, as in just hammering the keys.
I can type the alphabet in 2.83 seconds.
Ooh.
Is that just like smashing the keyboard?
No. I mean, like, that would be cool.
All the letters are there. Wow.
I recorded a video of me doing it to prove it once, and it was a very embarrassing moment.
Get that on YouTube now.
Deal. I will do that after the podcast.
That on YouTube right now. That needs to be on YouTube right now. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, definitely. Start practicing that. We'll get you and Kim over to SGDQ or AGDQ in a year or so with some GOGCom shirts and just sorted. Yeah, we'll do it. I'll pull some strings. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'll bargain my beard in order to get you to SGDQ.
The beard? Oh no, not the beard.
It's fine. We'll do it. It's on. Right. So that's SGDQ covered. What else have we got? What have we got? Black Moon Chronicles has been released. Who knows anything about Black Moon Chronicles?
I know what I just Googled about it.
Alright.
What?
Shoot.
It looks like an old school RTS sort of a deal. It's a fantasy game. There's knights on horseback. You know what? From what I can find about this, it looks like it might be based off of a book.
Right.
Because there's apparently a book series called the Black Moon Chronicles, and there's a game called Black Moon Chronicles. I'm not entirely sure if it's based off the book, but they seem to have very similar themes of like that dark fantasy thing. So they might be related. I can't find anything particularly that puts them together. Checking the Wikipedia page here, but because Wikipedia is the saga is also subject to a miniature game and RTS video game, so they are related. So there's a book series called the Black Moon Chronicles, and that is the RTS video game. So if you're interested in books that have been turned into video games, there is another one for you.
Or more specifically, the Black Moon Chronicles. Not just books that have now become video games. Actually, has that happened? Has that happened much in the past? I can't think of many.
Well, you have The Witcher. You have Metro 2033.
Oh God, yeah.
That's kind of an obvious one, and it kind of shocks me that I didn't think of it.
Oops.
I mean, of all things, you've got The Witcher. You've got
yeah. I was just like, no, there's no books that have ever been turned into video games.
No book has ever been turned into a video game before.
There are even Discworld video games.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
The
Good point.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Yeah.
Galaxy's got a game. There's an upcoming game for a Warhammer book series.
Yeah, Warhammer. That's a pretty big one as well.
I hope that comes to GOG.
I'm more concerned I forgot what The Witcher was for a few minutes there. That's a bit of an oops. Sure, that'll come in my monthly report.
And there's a great book by Douglas Adams called Last Chance to See, and that actually has a video game. And that's one of the old games that I don't own, and one of those that I really, really want. I think for copyright reasons it might be very difficult to get it on GOG, but one day I will try to get an old copy out of eBay or something and see if I can run it, because I've never played it, and I enjoyed that book so much. So that's one for me.
I Have No Mouth in I'm a Scream. There's another one.
Oh yeah, I read that short story.
Oh, was that a book? Oh.
It's a short story. I've read it recently.
I don't know.
Stalker.
It's okay.
Stalker, based off of a book series.
Metro
Really?
2033, Metro 2032.
No, it's like a Roadside Picnic or something like that. I think the soccer games are based off of that. I don't remember entirely.
Are they?
JD is right though. Every Lord of the Rings game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Actually,
That's not
yeah.
cheating.
Yeah, I suppose.
And does Halo has anything to do with the Ringworld series by Larry Niven? Does anybody know? I'm not sure about that.
Not at all.
Don't
but
think so.
Halo does
sorry.
have a book series.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Halo did a book series, but the game came out first, didn't it? Although, in fairness, I know it's going massively off topic here. The Halo books are incredibly good. I really enjoyed them. I thought they'd be rubbish, but I picked one up and then I started reading through the entire series. I really like them. I'm not a deeply literary man. I must admit, I'm very easy to please with my books. But Metro 2033. That's another one. Someone just mentioned it in chat.
Game we have on GNG. Game of Thrones Telltale.
No, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so there's been a few.
So that counts.
Technically, it's based on the TV series, which is based on the books.
I've not watched the TV series so far.
I'm
We've
picking
just-
holes here, but yeah.
No, that's absolutely fine. Considering we've listed like a dozen others, I don't think we need to find
Yeah.
loopholes in order to include or exclude them if it's not specifically on a
You're
book that is
clearly
out.
wrong.
Yeah.
Call
Not
of Cthulhu.
necessarily, just technically wrong.
Oh,
Not
okay.
completely wrong, just technically wrong. It's fine.
Oh, that's
Um,
Chat brings up Starship Titanic. That was another Douglas Adams game. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that was a book.
Oh no, I didn't know it was a book either. That's very interesting.
The Call of Cthulhu games, also on GOG. Very, very nice pixel adventures.
Excellent.
There's
So,
a lot
yeah,
of games
that-
based off of books.
That answered my question, didn't it? That is well and
Yeah.
truly answered. Yeah. Oh yeah, Wolf Among Us is comic book based. I suppose, graphic novels and stuff like that. That also kind of counts. So yeah, fair
So is
enough.
The Walking Dead.
Okay, I get it. I'm wrong. I'll admit it. All right, leave it alone. Back
Sam and
away
Max
from
was
the
originally
topic.
a comic strip, so there's another one.
Yeah,
It just keeps
fair
going.
news. Oh yeah, Sherlock Holmes. Yep.
Yep. There are some.
There's another.
Forgot about those.
So yeah, that's Black Moon Chronicles. It's based on a book, as are many other video games.
We need more.
So if you
We need more streamers covering strategy games so that we can ask them then about these two games.
Yeah, I've not. In honesty, I'll openly admit I've not even looked at Black Moon Chronicles. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it looks like. I'm assuming
It looks
if
like
you.
an old computer RTS. It reminds me a little bit of Chaos Gate or Shadow of the Horned Rat. That style of RTS.
Okay. Yeah.
Those ones. exactly RTSs, but that style of graphics.
Well, yeah. I see. I know what you mean. Okay.
That era of video games.
Yes,
for computers.
absolutely. Yeah, so Black Moon Chronicles, there you go. I don't have my list in front of me because I'm only on one monitor at the moment. I know that's going to be completely irrelevant for anybody who's. Just
I know the feeling, man.
Or... yeah.
I live it.
And I
day.
also know it now. But I'm going to get my my used monitor tomorrow, so then I will have two again. Yes. Yes.
Right, excellent stuff. This is actually by choice because I'm broadcasting from a different location. But
I would have never thought. There's this nice floral wallpaper in the background, you know.
Oh, are you watching the stream as well? Fair enough.
Sometimes.
Yeah, fair enough. So now I'm quickly skipping between scenes, which is why my lighting keeps changing. Here we go. Cool. Right. Yeah, lovely floral wallpaper, lovely candlestick, that sort of thing. Just completely irrelevant for all the audio listeners. That's pretty much all the games I think that have been released recently on GOG, at least since the last time we did a GOGcast. At least the ones I've found since the last time we did a GOGcast. If anybody wants to correct me on that, please go ahead.
Well, you've got a game called Shopkeep by Merge Games, which is what? I'm reading the list. Am I not supposed to say that?
I don't know what game you're talking about.
Look, no, don't.
Don't know what game you're talking about, mate.
No, don't put them on the list if I'm not allowed to talk about them.
Don't know what you're talking about, mate.
There's a color coding there.
Absolutely. So we're going to move on to games that we've been playing this week.
Coding. People, come on.
So we're going to be moving on to games we've been playing recently, and I think as it's her first appearance on the on the GOGcast, I think Psyche should go first. So Psyche, this is the area of the GOGcast where basically we will talk about what we've been playing recently. Doesn't necessarily have to be GOG games. If you've played other games as well, that's cool. Just essentially what you've been playing. So take it away in your own time.
Okay, so I joined the GOG stream team officially 2 weeks ago. I did do a stream before that, but as I think it's been 2 weeks. I don't remember, but I think I've been playing Neverwinter Nights Diamond Edition, which has been something that I have been meaning to play for. So it's one of my favorite games of all time, just as a disclaimer. But I have been meaning to replay it through from start to finish, all of the official campaigns, since, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, but I keep putting it off. And then Outstar spoke to me about streaming on the GOG channel, and I was like, oh, this is a great opportunity to play Neverwinter Nights again. So I now officially own 4 copies of this game, because I own 2 disc copies and have lost the CD keys. And I bought it on GOG for both myself and my fiance. So I've been playing it, and it's been really good fun. I'm taking my time getting through it, but I've forgotten everything. Like, I'm going through the main campaign now, and I'm like, I don't remember anything to do with the Beggar's Nest. I literally remember nothing. I remember nothing to do with it. I've forgotten how to pronounce half of the names of the Water Deviant creatures. I'm so confused, but it's awesome. It's like experiencing it all again. I'm really enjoying it. So that's kind of the main thing I'm playing, at least on GOG right now.
Yep.
A couple of the other games that are available on GOG that I've been playing recently, Darkest Dungeon. I've been playing that for a while.
Oh, man.
I was really bad at it at first.
What game? Good choice.
Everyone's bad at it. I don't know if you get good at Darkest Dungeon.
I disagree with anyone saying that they're good at Darkest Dungeon. I don't think you can be. I actually don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I've learned a lot about the game, and I feel more confident with it, but I still make mistakes, and I still do stupid stuff, and I always, without fail, have someone come into my stream and say, you just did something really dumb. And I'm like, yeah, I know. You don't need to tell me. But I've been playing that, and it's really, really, really good. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I am going to probably get a lot of hate from chat for this one, but I did start The Witcher, and I've never played it all the way through.
Me neither.
So,
which Witcher game?
The first one.
Okay,
yeah,
it's fine. I've never played Witcher 1 or 2, and I'm only halfway through Witcher 3, so don't worry about it.
I've heard wonderful things about both 2 and 3, but 1, people said the story was great, but the gameplay was very rough. I actually don't mind it. I don't mind it. No, it is kind of clunky, but I am playing Neverwinter Nights. So, the combat is not that clunky. It's okay.
In comparison, it's a vast improvement.
Yeah, so I was actually really pleasantly surprised, and I found out from one of the people from the GOG chat actually was that The Witcher is built on a modified version of the Neverwinter Nights engine. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Really? That is
Apparently,
cool.
I didn't know that, and I feel like I should have known that since Neverwinter Nights is such a big favorite of mine.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I have been playing. I've been replaying Skyrim. I'm a big Elder Scrolls person, but all it's really making me want to do is go back and play Morrowind and Oblivion again, which is shocking because I love those games. I played Morrowind. I locked myself in my dining room because that's where our Xbox was when I was younger, with the curtains closed in the kitchen and the curtains closed in the dining room so that there was no glare on the screen. And I played that for hours. And my mom actually told me that was when my mom said, right, you need to leave the house. Okay, you just need to be a human being right now. You are currently being a vampire. It's not cool. But that's some good memories. So that's kind of the things that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, right? Yeah. So those are the things that I'm playing Skyrim, but at the same time wanting to go back and play the older games as well. So I've been recommended to play pretty much all of the Elder Scrolls series since I've only played from 3 onwards. So that's
considering that Skyrim's getting a remaster in a little bit. Yeah, putting that off may not be such a bad idea.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see how it goes.
Do you know, I'm a bit mixed on it as well. I was one of the people that sort of turned around and said, if they re-release it, it will sell millions and people will love it. And now they've announced it, I'm like, I don't know how many people will actually buy it. Like, I played it quite a lot. Like Skyrim, I played it quite a lot, but once I'd finished the main campaign, I was done with it completely. But I don't know.
I'm still loving it. I've played about 300 hours in total. This is like my second or third playthrough, but I still feel like it's not quite the same as Morrowind and Oblivion. I like both of those games a lot. I feel like Oblivion, the Shivering Isles, was an experience, and I don't think anything has really caught up to that yet.
Shivering Isles was just something else, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
even
entrance,
that
like
first...
the whole intro.
Yeah, the butterfly thing, where all the butterflies sort of like peel away from the walls.
Oh my god, I sat
It's such a tingly moment when you're playing it.
Unbelievable. So, weird story, but I was sitting on the floor playing this game because I was in my fiance's house at the time.
Standard.
And we didn't have a chair. I don't know. So we sat on front of the TV, like just playing this game, and the butterflies just sort of shattered and disappeared, and I just sat there with my mouth hanging open for like 10 minutes. Like, what just happened? This was so cool.
Yeah. It's because you hadn't seen anything else like that throughout the game, really, had you? It's such a nice effect. I mean, fair enough, there wasn't really anything else like that in Shivering Isles, but that moment sort of made you think, oh, goddamn, this is something completely different, isn't it? This is really cool.
Yep. I see memories in 8-bit ranting about remaking Skyrim instead of Morrowind. I 100% agree. I don't understand, but I could rant about that forever. Please remake Morrowind. It was such a good game. Anyway.
Well, if they were going to be fair about it, they would remake Arena first.
True.
Probably,
considering that game is somewhat roguelike-y, because it's got tons of randomization. And roguelike-y stuff is very popular nowadays.
I think
a remake of Arena could actually do pretty well.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Maybe they'll bundle it with Skyrim or something like that. Maybe they'll have like a version
that would be really cool.
Because they've got to have something else other than it's a remastered version. I mean, obviously, if there's any... I can't remember, does Skyrim have any DLC? I can't remember.
It's got a good amount of DLC, but the thing about the remastered version is that it's now going to be available for the mods that are coming to consoles now. Whereas the previous version of it was not.
Oh, that's because they're doing that with Fallout as well, haven't they? They've done that. They've done that a couple of times now. So they're
kind of prettying it up as well. They're making it basically what we had with mods. They're making it look like that by default. So.
Yes,
that's fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, and obviously Darksaber 2K has just mentioned in chat Skyrim got Horse Armor DLC, so I'm excited about that.
House
armor, sorry.
Yes, because you got to build your own house, and that was literally
I forgot about that, and you had to like adopt a kid and all this sort of stuff, didn't you? That DLC got weird. That got real strange real fast. Yeah.
And really painful because you had to like farm the materials and everything to try and build the house. And
yeah.
Then again, Fallout 4 did the same thing, so I can't really complain too much. But
yeah, I've not played Fallout 4, so I don't know. Right, cool. Have you been playing much else?
That's pretty much the main things I'm focusing on. I did try Subnautica today, and I really liked it. It's very interesting, so I kind of want to see where it goes. And I think it will be really cool with VR, but it's been fun. It's been fun. But that's pretty much what I'm playing. I feel like I've kind of spread myself out.
Did you ever play a game called Far Sky?
No. I've heard of it, and I don't know why, but I haven't played it.
It's somewhat similar to Subnautica, except it came out a couple years ago, and I was gonna ask if you'd played it, how similar they were, but
I'll have to look it up afterwards. I don't think I've played it. I'm pretty sure I haven't, but that's interesting.
I enjoyed it, so I don't recommend checking it out. Maybe you like Subnautica.
The wish list for Subnautica, yes, please. I would have. I'd love to have that on GOG. I really would. I think
me too. I saw Dark Saber 2K streaming it, and also Balaner. And I liked it in both times, although there were very different versions of the game because it's still in development. But yeah, I would love to see it already now, right now, if possible.
Yeah,
right now.
It's another game that I think they've released this second. Right now, I think they released it at a pretty decent time, but yeah, it is still in development. There's a couple of things that are still missing, and like there's features that are there, but if you try to investigate them, they're not actually finished yet. But that's pretty cool. It has a long way to go, but I think it will be pretty cool in the end.
Yeah.
Are there any of these like big survival crafter games other than Minecraft that are technically finished?
I don't know.
Far Sky's technically finished, but it's not anywhere near as big as something like this. I think it was made by one guy too.
I missed the question.
Are there any?
A lot of these survival crafter games are all in development.
Terraria.
Well, I guess, yeah.
There you go.
Starbound.
What? Don't Starve?
It's done.
Don't Starve,
you mean first person, or what is the requirement?
Is it just game in general, or are you talking like
Barony!
Specifically?
Barony is great, okay? I tried Barony for the first time on Monday, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm really bad at it, but it's fun.
I was there for that stream.
Yes, I know, and I was like, oh no, Pirate Jane is going to judge me because she knows what she's doing.
It was just, it's one of the games I enjoy so much. I mean, everybody knows I'm a filthy casual, and still this game is just fantastic. It's just so much fun, and it's really like, come on, and another adventure, and I go in the dungeon again, and I'm missing Dark Saber and Emerald and 8-bit so much. Oh, but there's a rolling ball that reminds me of them, so I'm happy now. It's really fantastic.
It was a good game. I actually really like it. But yeah, that's pretty much all the games I'm playing at the minute.
Cool, excellent stuff. What about yourself, Perry Jade? What have you been playing recently?
What? Me?
Yes, you.
You already asked me, I think.
No, I asked you if you played any of the games that had been released recently.
Oh, okay.
Have we covered everything that you played?
I'm sorry. I'm missing so much sleep recently. It's so bad.
That's okay. Sorry. Don't worry about it.
I miss half of the things that Ebenezer tells me in a day, and he's like, I told you, and I was like,
did you?
What?
Are you sure?
I have no recollection. Who are you? What am I doing?
Who are you? What are you doing in my house?
I also played some Massive Chalice again, which I played a lot last year actually, and I'm just still enjoying it. I know the game did not have that many good reactions, but I think it's a really, really good game. So yeah, I'm enjoying that a lot. And I did a quick stream of it and let chat choose the houses. So now we have, for example, the House of Derp playing there. And currently they have a really good hero, Madame Derp. And it was a lot of fun, and I might actually continue that save game on stream. I'm playing in Iron mode, so for a little bit of RPM in my game. And so I think I might continue that one day. That's a lot of fun. I'm still having a Divinity Original Sin game going on with Ebenezer in local co-op. But we haven't continued for a long time. It's a bit problematic because he steals everything, and he gets caught all the time. And I'm like, I'm not reloading. We're not reloading this. Because I don't like to reload all the time. So that's a bit problematic. So
it's like, just stop stealing things and we won't get in trouble.
I literally have that exact problem though. So I play with my fiance, Divinity Original Sin, and the same thing happens. Like one of us will. It's not always him. One of us will do something bad, like stupid. Like we'll steal something, or we'll break something, or we'll die, and he's the first one to jump with, no, okay, we have to reload. And I'm like, no, just keep going, it's fine. I'm like, we have to reload.
You don't understand. Yes, it has to be a perfectly formed adventure.
Use the resurrect scroll, goddammit.
Yeah, Ebenezer is a completionist. He needs the 100%, and I don't like reading guides or walkthroughs, so I just storm ahead and have fun. And he's one of those guys who never even uses like a healing thing in Lara Croft games. He just doesn't, because it's not perfect then.
Oh, don't even make me. Oh. Every time. He literally, he will save up his like ammo and stuff, and then he'll get it taken away. Because there's always, I hear him gasping in the background because he knows it's true. He'll save up all his ammo and all his med kits, and then he'll get captured, because games like that always capture you, and they'll take it all away from him, and he will rage.
Use them if you got them. That's my motto. Use them if you got them.
Exactly. I agree.
Medkits, ammo.
You and I playing a co-op game, we would never have anything ever.
No, we'd have a lot of fun for the first 20 minutes, and then that's it. We'd be screwed.
We broke the game. We have nothing left.
We'd be chucking shoes at people. Just throwing bits of leather armor at the enemy. Just like, go away! Now I know you want to capture me, but how about this lovely gauntlet?
Yeah.
I give you this piece of leather armor,
trying to
and
bribe
you toddle off.
Yep.
Yeah, it's diplomacy. It's not bribing. It's not bribing. It's diplomacy with gifts. It's fine. All right, cool.
Gifts.
Yes. That's absolutely. It's diplomacy with gifts.
Good luck getting that across to your lawyer.
So, Mr. Pieman, what have you been playing recently? Other than Slime Rancher.
Yes, I have been playing a good amount of Slime Rancher. I also did a stream earlier this. Wow, all I streamed this week was Slime Rancher. Well, okay.
He streamed every day, but all he streamed was Slime Rancher.
Amazing.
Not quite. But outside of GOG.com, I've been playing a crap ton of a game called SteamWorld Heist.
Oh, excellent.
I don't know how much you guys have heard of this particular game. It originally came out on mobile devices and the 3DS of all things, before it finally came to PC about a week or so ago. It's not on GOG.com, unfortunately. I do hope it will get there. The original game, SteamWorld Dig, is on GOG.com. The developers, Image and Form, they've done a very odd thing with Heist, considering that SteamWorld Dig came out on a bunch of platforms, and then but it came out on PC first. For some reason, SteamWorld Heist, which is a very different game, it's a tactics game. It's like a side-scrolling XCOM sort of deal, whereas SteamWorld Dig was a platformer sort of deal. And yet, for some reason, SteamWorld Dig came to PC first, whereas the tactics thing that's good on PC actually went to other places with controllers and handheld devices first. It was a very interesting decision, I have to say.
Yeah.
But SteamWorld Heist it's just a fantastic tactics game. You're a robot space pirate, which is just amazing. in a universe where I don't know if it takes place exactly after SteamWorld Dig, but it's the exact same universe, because there's 3 games. There's SteamWorld Tower Defense, SteamWorld Dig, and SteamWorld Heist. But the world's exploded. Everyone's living in spaceships, and you're a space pirate trying to stay alive, and basically you find yourself in the middle of a conspiracy, and then you end up taking down the government and unleashing an ancient evil that you then have to deal with. But the start of the game, your whole crew explodes, so you get new crew members throughout the entire game. And the really cool thing about it is that some of the levels, or a majority of the levels, actually have some randomness to them. There are specific levels, like boss fights, that aren't randomized, but other than that, it's going to be randomized as to locations for loot, randomized as to what rooms you're going to go to, what kind of enemies you're going to go up against. So it constantly keeps things interesting. And the difficulty of the game, I'm playing it on veteran difficulty, which is one step below the highest difficulty. It says that that's the difficulty that the game's designed to be played for. And I definitely feel that that's really true, because it's just easy enough that you can constantly be making progression, but just hard enough that every now and then you come across a particular level that it sometimes feels a little bit unfair. But then once you get past that, and if you ever come back to it, you're like, why did I have a problem with this? Why was this level a problem? This level is super easy now. Because every level has star rates. So you can get like 3 to 4 star rates depending upon the level, and you get stars for getting the epic loot, for beating the mission and not dying, and for beating the mission without any of your crew members dying. And depending upon what level you're going to, depends upon how many crew members you can take. So sometimes you have 1 crew member, sometimes you have 4 crew members. Every crew member can be given different equipment depending upon what class they are. Even crew members of the same classes get different abilities that they can use. So there's one guy who has piercing bullets. There's another guy who can become invincible for a short period of time. There's another character who can move really quickly. There's a character who can create a smoke screen to disguise himself so he can't be targeted by other enemies. And there's a huge variety of different kinds of enemies that come up against, with one good thing about them. The enemies are kind of stupid. There's a lot of them. But they're also kind of stupid. So something that exists in the game are explosive barrels, and they have a very bad habit of blowing up explosive barrels that are next to either themselves or other people on their side and killing their own people. Especially if one of them has... There's one level that all of the enemies have mortars, and we're on a train, and all they do the whole time is just blow each other up, because mortars bounce all over the walls and everything. So that was fun. But the coolest thing about the tactics is it is turn-based tactics. So you move your guys and they move their guys, and it's on a 2D platformer sort of field. So you're looking at it sideways instead of looking at it top-down for a lot of tactics games.
Oh, okay. That's a bit weird.
And one of the really interesting things is that because it has that, it actually focuses a lot on the angles of your shot. Different types of cover, as well as the walls that are thick walls that bullets can't go through, will ricochet bullets off of them. So just because you can't hit somebody straight on doesn't mean you can't find an angle that you can use to ricochet a bullet to get them around to go behind the enemy. And this actually works well for some particular characters who are flankers, who get bonus damage from hitting enemies from behind. So if you can ricochet a bullet around behind an enemy and hit them in the back, and you're playing as a flanker, it'll do extra damage without you actually having to get behind them. I believe that's how that works. So there's a lot of really cool ins and outs like that. For the most part, all except for sniper weapons do not give you any kind of like laser light to have any idea of where your angles are going. So some of it is just based off of firing it and crossing your fingers and hoping that it actually works. But I've really, really been enjoying the game so far. The story, I guess, is okay, but I've really enjoyed the mechanics, and I hope it comes to GOG.com, because it's a really, really good tactics game. If you're into tactics games, I'd recommend giving SteamWorld Heist a shot. I mean, every level's got different enemies. Every level, except for bosses, are randomized. You can pick your equipment at the start. You can pick with your crew members to go at the start. Every single level has different objectives for you to fill. So there's tons of variety throughout this entire game. There's tons of different kinds of enemies throughout the entire game, which constantly keeps things interesting. Also, there are hats.
Ace?
That's good.
Do the hats have any specific purpose, or are they just cosmetic?
If you get shot, or you shoot an enemy and the shot is really close to being a headshot, or is just barely a headshot, there's a chance that'll hit the hat instead of hitting them in the head. It'll knock the hat off the character, but it won't do any damage to them. And usually they'll have some line like, "Oh no, oh crap, my hat. Oh, that was really close." Or something like that. It's rather frustrating when you think you lined a shot up perfectly, only to find out you shot the hat off. But if you shoot there's specific hats you can find throughout the game. So bosses have their own hats, enemies have their own hats. There's specific rare hats that you can find. There's hats you can buy. I've got a hat that's a top hat made out of a cat.
Wow.
Wait, what? Whoa! Time out. What?
It's a top hat made out of a cat.
As in, it's cat skin.
It's got a cat on it. For the hat.
Oh, okay.
It's a live cat.
It doesn't move, so.
Oh.
So the jury's out on that one. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
in the world of SteamWorld Heist, only robots exist. So all humans and organic life, no, it doesn't exist at all. So I don't know. Everything's robots. They're either steam robots or diesel robots or going to take over the world robots.
Yeah.
So
it's probably a dead cat. Let's be honest. That makes me sad. It's probably a dead cat.
Probably.
Yeah, but
It's probably dead.
I'm not even sure if it would be better if it was a live cat that was there on this head to be shot. So,
but you're in space.
Well, that's
You're in
true.
spaceships.
That's true.
Well,
So-
yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Considering that robots don't need oxygen to survive in space, I don't know if it could survive anyway.
Yeah.
But there's a whole lot of stuff. There's tons of equipment. You can get different guns. You can get different equipment to take with you, such as bombs, rockets, things to make you move faster, things to heal you throughout the different area. There's tons of ways for specific builds. Your characters level up as you go, all the way up to a maximum of level 10. Every time they level up, you unlock a new thing. So either you get more movement speed, or you get more health, or you get an ability. And there's a lot of characters as well. And the most they have are 2 characters out of the same class, but of course every character has their own unique abilities, even if they're the same class. Some of the abilities transfer, but pretty much every character, or all of them, all of the characters have their own unique abilities, and there's a lot of characters to pick from. So There's a lot of ways to build the way you want to play your game. The way I like to play it is I like to take a sniper, and I like to take a guy called Ivitsky, who's a circus strongman and also Russian, and he's always pumping a barbell. He's got one hand that he's got his mortar launcher in, and the other hand he's always pumping a barbell. Always.
Excellent.
He never puts it down, ever.
Excellent.
And the other character I take is Beatrix, she is a soldier character that I have an RPG with. And you do have to be careful with explosives, because you can blow up your own people. You can kill your own team if you're not careful. But considering that the enemy, it tends to do that to themselves. So they don't do it. It's not consistent enough to be reliant on the enemy being stupid. But that's the only thing you really have in your favor, considering there's always more enemies than you. And the enemies are almost always more powerful than you, unless you get a few levels in to get a lot of gallons of water. That was what they used to buy stuff with.
Oh, okay.
So until you get a few levels in to get equipped with a lot of the new weapons for that particular area, or buy the really, really good stuff, you're almost always outnumbered and outpowered, and it's really based upon finding cover, making sure that your characters can hit the least amount, making sure that you keep them alive as much as you can so they take out the most enemies as possible. It's just a really dang good tactics game, and I hope it comes to you.
Cool. It sounds really good.
And I might put a video on it on a day or two if I ever, get around to stop playing it and start making a video.
Yeah. Excellent stuff. Have you been playing much else at the minute?
Well, I was going to play more Uncharted 4 I could complain about, but my PS4 died after a electric surge, so I can't talk about that anymore. Which is
God.
Darn shame.
R.I.P. Sorry.
No, it's a shame. Trying to think of anything else that I've had the chance to play recently. Pretty much that's been it. SteamWorld Heist and Slime Rancher.
Cool. Excellent stuff. I myself have been playing... Actually, no, I've been playing new games recently. So I played Deadly Profits on stream on Monday? No, Wednesday? Oh god, I've gotten the days completely confused. Deadly Profits, which is a fantastic and awful game that I picked up for £1 from a different game distribution network, shall we say, and you can tell it was like £1, where basically you run around exactly the same dungeon time after time, and you are a mage and you shoot missiles, but there's no concept of mana. So essentially, as long as you're far enough away from the enemies and you're walking backwards, you essentially just act like a walking minigun of magic missiles, which is cool.
Wow.
And also really boring at the same time after about 30 minutes of doing exactly the same pew 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 walk backwards, pew 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 walk backwards mechanic. I also played a game called Amputee, which I completely forgotten which member of my community bought me this game bloody ages ago, but thank you very much whoever purchased it for me, because obviously I'm British, I must drink tea, which I do in all fairness. So yeah, it's a game again on a different distribution network that basically is inspired by Surgeon Simulator. So as we all know, I'm a big fan of the Surgeon Simulator game, and you have to use a robotic arm, and you have to make a cup of tea using a robotic arm. Apart from the fact that the physics anchoring the robotic arm like to get stuck in the table, and you can only move certain fingers at certain times, and there's no way of actually closing the hand that you're actually using, so you have to pick stuff up like sugar cubes. And I think using an actual hand for this would be pretty bloody difficult, but using a robot hand that, one, where the fingers don't quite meet the palm of the hand, and two, where it gets stuck in the hot water dispenser every 5 seconds, is a bleeding nightmare, to be perfectly honest with you. Can't recommend it. Got to admit, it's not very good. Can't recommend it. It's funny for about 20 minutes.
Not as good as Surgeon Simulator?
It's not nearly as good as Surgeon Simulator, to be perfectly honest. Although there is a cup. There's a cup that you got to pick up, and one of the cups does say you can thank Surgeon Simulator for this game. So it's obviously built on the idea that someone has just gone there and sort of gone, I say, oh boy, we could make a game about tea. That sort of thing.
Almost enough to put you off tea. Almost.
Well, consider it, like, you put the cup under the hot water dispenser, you press the hot water button, and it's just like blue marbles that fall into the cup.
Okay.
And like you go to the milk one, and it's like you've got to make extra milky, and you've got to make extra sugary, that sort of thing. You put it under the milk dispenser, 'cause it's like a hotel tea area where you have a hot water dispenser and a milk dispenser. Put the cup under the milk dispenser, press the button, and like eggs fall out. They're like solid orbs of milk that just roll around the table if they don't go in the cup, and you're just like picking up all the little orbs of milk, and you're like, surely you wouldn't drink this. You wouldn't.
That's why I make tea.
In that case, you need to have a talk with people who preserve your milk, in all fairness, because then milk shouldn't bounce. That's all I'm saying.
That is fair.
It just feels like a game that they didn't really care if it had bugs in it, and they didn't really care if it was not very good, in all honesty. But I can't.
But that's how you make a game nowadays, man. You leave the bugs in because they're funny.
See, these are, but like, if I actually got my hands stuck in the table and then couldn't get it out, that'd be fine. But the fact that I was nowhere near the table, and this didn't happen once, it happened like 5 times on the stream, which you can check out on my channel. It basically, I was above the table, and like suddenly the palm of the hand would just get jammed into the table, and the hand would just start spinning randomly like a blender. And I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I can't move my hand, and this is always a crucial moment. It's always when I've just picked up a sugar cube, or I've just manipulated the physics enough to actually lift a cup. It's just sort of like, oh, crazy physics time. You know, and then the table just gets flipped and there's cup pieces everywhere. There was one moment where I even said to myself, I was like, right, I've got to put my hand just very slightly into the handle of this cup and then close all the fingers. My hand didn't even touch the cup and it shattered. That's the kind of level of interactivity it's got. The cup just sort of went all over the table. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to use that cup then, am I, to be perfectly honest. But yeah. Amputee. Can't recommend it. Don't buy it. I'm pretty sure it's not on GOG.com. I'm allowed to say that. Don't buy it. It's rubbish. If you want to see what it's like, go check out my Twitch channel. Just watch me just faffing around with it for an hour. I've been playing anything else. I played games on Monday. Monday seems like a lifetime ago, and I can't remember what I played. I really can't. I'm out. I can't remember what happened.
I so feel with you. Monday. Monday.
I've just come back from holiday. I don't even have an excuse this. You have a newborn and another child. I'm like, how are you doing this? How are you alive right now? I'm just a bit tired. I can't remember what happened yesterday. Never mind what happened on Monday, but God.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, you're just like, which day was yesterday? I don't remember.
It was Wednesday. I know that. I've got like a schedule thing.
You've got it written on your hand.
No, what day was yesterday?
The stream too is helping me there a lot because I have to look at the schedule.
Yep,
because if I don't look at the schedule, I'm not sure if somebody should be on, and then I can't go and look for people to host.
Yep.
And also I need to find out if I'm supposed to be on, or if I'm supposed to request a game, or if I should check the release list. Because I found out that apparently Retrograde Tom and I like the same game, so I have to be careful there. And yeah, but it's like Stream Team is my anchor currently. It anchors me in time. It's good. I thank you. I love you all.
Brilliant. We love you too. We genuinely love you. I only know it's Thursday because I'm doing this. Otherwise, this would be completely out the window, and I'm just like going rogue all of a sudden.
Oh, you're already ahead of me. My stream in the GOG channel is on Wednesdays, and today I finished my own stream on my own channel with "Hope you have a great Wednesday." You'd think I'd be concerned that I'd forgotten to stream on the right channel, but no, I was like, "Yes, cool. Wednesday's over. Awesome."
Don't worry about it. Enjoy your hump day.
Yeah, exactly.
Every day is Wednesday if you try hard enough, or if you just set your clocks wrong.
Yeah, very true. Every day is Wednesday if you think hard enough.
Yeah.
Right, so I want to mention a couple of things. So Matt Cat Plays is streaming after us, so definitely stay tuned for that. I know there's a lot of people here at the moment. Thank you very much for that. Genuinely appreciate it every single time you guys show up. But he's streaming after this, and he asked me to mention that in his stream he's having a raffle for people. Now, I want to say he's playing. I can't remember what he's playing now. Go and check out what he's playing. Type in !next. Basically, he's going to run a raffle at the beginning of his show, and the winner of that raffle will have their name and character featured in a song from his next story-driven chiptune album. If and when we've gotten it. I'm reading his message, and that just said "if and when you get chance." That was to me, not to you guys, just because I didn't curate me reading what he wrote before I actually read it. Then, yeah. So that's a really, really cool thing, and something you should definitely get involved in. Maca Plays, also known as Chrono Wolf professionally, he makes absolutely fantastic music. If you're into chiptunes or electronic music or anything like that, definitely check him out on SoundCloud. I'm sure somebody will post the link in the chat that's in chat currently, and I will also include it in all of the on-demand versions of the GOGCast. With that, I'd also like to mention the fact that there may be a pre-release stream of the game coming up. Now, I'm going to hand over to Pier and Jade, who is going to talk about Necropolis. And also, while she's talking about it, you will be delighted to see some screenshots and also a trailer of the game coming up as well. So please, Pier and Jade, take it away. What is Necropolis?
Okay. So Necropolis, it's already there's already a thing that is coming up on GOG, and you can imagine that after playing Barony, that Memories 8-bit, Darksaber and I, and we saw Necropolis, and we're like, this is going to be so damn awesome. We need this. We need to play this, and we were being like happy and happier and like totally whee, because we were so happy to see that coming up. It's again a roguelike dungeon crawler with a randomized permadeath machine, as 8-bit likes to say. So you go in, you slash stuff, and it has multiplayer, and it looks so damn nice. So we signed up for it. And so we signed up for it, and we made a little Necropolis multiplayer group, and we were all excited. We're bothering Outstar for details and everything, and then suddenly it came up. Guys, you might have a pre-release stream of that. So if things go according to plan, and this is only about 80% sure, but we're trying everything to make this reality, there will be a pre-release stream of Necropolis this Sunday in my Fist of Jade slot, so 8 p.m. CEST, on this channel right here. We're trying everything to make this possible. It's not 100%, and I'm really, really sorry for this because I want it to be 100%. We hope we get the keys, and then there's going to be a pre-release stream. So if you want to see this game as much as we do, be there on Sunday. watch it, ask questions, have us do stupid stuff that you would like to see us try out, and just it's going to be so wonderfully awesome. If you like the Barony stream, this is going to be like that and better, because we always get better all the time, and everything is going to be so good. Thank you.
It looks bloody lovely as well. Definitely check it out. It looks really, really nice. Do you know what it reminds me of? Weirdly, it reminds me of Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, just with its art style. It reminds me of that. Yeah, I expect like the explosions to be that almost Arabian Nights art style kind of swirly patterns, you know, that sort of thing. But how many people can you have in the multiplayer? Do you know?
4 people multiplayer is possible as far as I know. Or was it 5? I'm sure that 4 fit in. Yeah, and we're gonna play it as 3, because Barony worked out so well with S3, and I think we have a really good thing going on there. As long as friendly fire is off.
well, I did just see in chat somebody did mention that there is non-optional friendly fire, so I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not.
Uh-oh.
Indeed.
Everything is going to be fine.
Don't worry about it. It genuinely, I didn't quite realise just how good it looked. I also didn't realise there was 4 players. If you're interested in a 4th player, and I'm free, hit me up. But yeah, honestly, watching you, because I watched the Barony stream as well. Watching you 3 play through this is going to be just bloody brilliant. I'm genuinely excited by it.
It's going to be so wonderfully awesome. The Barony stream was such a great experience, and as much as I would like to say, hey, come on board, Screaming Joypad, I would have to say that I'm not sure if more players will make this actually really manageable with all us talking and screaming and go there and save me. I'm not. I love you, man. Nearly as much as I love your beard.
Honestly, I'm kind of more looking forward to watching you 3.
I love you, man, nearly as much as I love your beard, but we've got this, mate. We've got this.
Yeah, I'm genuine. As soon as I said that, I was like, oh no, then I won't be able to watch it. Damn it.
Yeah. And also, you might get set on fire or blown up by a teammate.
Especially if it's not. By a teammate. No, watching you 3 bounce around on that is going to be incredibly fun, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, so 8 p.m. CEST this Sunday. Cross your fingers that it will really, really happen. Like I said, it's not 100% sure. But if it's not, then there's going to be Ultima Underworld 2 Unarmed. Also be there for that. But a pre-release stream is also always such a special occasion, and it would be just great to have everybody there.
Yeah.
I will put it into the public schedule. So, buddy, I will do this right now. Yes, special stream stuff.
Cool. It looks. I was quite blown away by the fact that I know Alstar and yourself mentioned it a little while ago. And I was genuinely quite blown away just how, I don't know, it's got that art style that just makes you sort of really pay attention to it, if that makes sense. But if it's looking like the sort of dungeon crawler I'm hoping it's looking for, it's definitely going to be something I'm going to pick up. Right, what else have we got? We do have some other topics we can discuss, but we are only 12 minutes away from the end of the show, so I don't know how deeply we want to delve into this. One of the topics that have been discussed is the current, the YouTuber fiasco with Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Could
we not talk about that? Everyone else in the world's talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know how much if we want to talk about it, or how much we want to talk about it, because it just kind of, we could be here all day talking about it. I don't think 12 minutes is going to be nearly enough.
I guess you could say what it is, but there's really nothing else to say that hasn't already been said by other people.
Yeah, essentially. For those of you who don't know, for people who aren't aware of what's happening, basically, some prominent YouTubers were advertising a gambling site, an auction site for Counter-Strike Global Offensive for like items and stuff like that, and essentially they didn't seem to disclose the fact that they ran the sites that they were advertising, and there appears to be a lot of unprofessional conduct there, and I don't know all of the details, but that's kind of the details that I'm aware of, and I've been not involved, but I've been reading up about it recently, and it's one of those things that kind of we could have talked about in regards to current topics. But I'm kind of with Pi on this one. I think enough has been said in other channels and in other areas of the media, to be perfectly honest. So I'm happy kind of putting that one to bed. We do have another few minutes that we can talk about video games, however, because everyone loves talking about video games. Now that we've done that for like 2 hours already. Right, so we basically covered everything that's been released recently, and we've covered everything that we've been playing recently, and also the potential pre-release stream of Necropolis, which does look really, really nice.
It does.
Let's talk about SGDQ a bit more. I'm tempted to talk about SGDQ a bit, because we've got some time spare. I love speedruns, so as long as no one has any massive objections to that, or if anybody has any news or anything they want to ask or anything like that, don't forget you can also put in chat any questions to us, which is a very good point. Tikanjia had a question for Miss Psyche, so give me just a second, I shall grab that. Tikanjia asked a question for Miss Psyche if there is time at the end of the stream, as if he knew. So far, you're streaming an RPG on GOG. What other genres do you like? And we may look forward to seeing you play someday.
Okay. So, I'm playing Neverwinter Nights at the minute. RPGs are one of the things I really love. So, I do love playing RPGs. I play a lot of them, especially single player or like small scale co-op stuff. Like, I like playing, I love the idea behind 2-player co-op. I think that's great for people who have like, one friend they want to play with or like a significant other. I think we need more of those. But there are 2 games that are my favorite games of all time. And they just so happen to both be on GOG, which makes me very, very happy. And those 2 games are Neverwinter Nights, which I'm already playing, and Quake 3. And something that not everybody knows is that I used to play Quake 3 competitively. And I'm just saying, if I have the opportunity to play anything like Quake, anything related to Quake, or anything in the same kind of genre, that'll be something that I would really like to do. I actually really want to get the Neverwinter Nights, the Eye of Neverwinter tattooed, and the Quake 3 logo. I am so for that. That's how much I love both of those games.
That's
so those
dedication.
Are my two
We
favorites.
do every now and then have the Unreal Tournament 2004 championship.
I saw that, and I did actually see that there was a Quake 3. I don't know if it happened, but there was discussions of a Quake 3 tournament in the past.
It was mentioned a few times. I don't believe it ever happened, but I know it was mentioned. I don't know if it happened before I came on board.
So I might, if it didn't happen, I might have to find out if we could get it to happen, because I see that Outstar is also a big Quake 3 person, and I think that the 2 of us just have to take each other on. She'd probably kick my ass, because I'll be honest, I'm not as good as I used to be by a long shot. But I do love the game so very much. It has a very special place in my heart.
So far, Outstar has won all of the Unreal Tournament 2004 championships. So
obvious
that
facts.
That could be very fun. That could be very fun. I do. So I love RPGs, and then on the complete flip side, I love FPS games. I like to think I'm okay at them. I wouldn't say I'm very good anymore. I've noticed my reaction times have gone way downhill. But I do like them a lot. So any way I can kind of, flip in between RPGs and FPS games is going to be something I'm going to be looking to do anyway.
Excellent. I'm genuinely, I think someone who can dethrone Outstar would be quite cool. I mean, getting more people involved in the massive sort of menagerie of streamers taking part in these huge shoot-ups is going to be cool. And there's always an amazing amount of hype around those events as well, and they're always, I know, they're really cool to be a part of, because I know Chrono Wolf as well, who's up next. Don't forget to tune in. Don't forget to check him out. He does a lot of the work, a lot of the art, a lot of the music, that sort of thing for the events, and it's so professional and it's so cool, it's just a really, I'm pretty sure that some of the previous ones are available on one of the YouTube channels. I don't know which one. I know there are 2, and I also know, I believe if you scroll down far enough in the highlight reel, in the highlights of the Twitch channel, you'll be able to find one of the previous broadcasts. But I'll find a link and I'll put it in the description of the videos on demand so people can actually see it, so you don't need to go digging for it. But then just the production value is really, really high, and I remember one of the first streams I did, or one of the handful of first streams I did for GOG, I was invited to one of the Unreal tournaments, and I was really blown away with just how cool and professional it was, even to the point where Chrono Wolf had this everyone is ready screen, so this big spinning Unreal Tournament logo, and it had everyone like Screaming Joypad is ready, Pier and Jade is ready, Outstar Walker is ready, and it sort of simulated people pressing the ready button. Obviously,
that's cool.
Behind the fourth wall, that didn't actually happen. That was video, but
yeah,
the fact that it gives you that impression that everyone's sort of just behind the scenes, ready
you give it away, freaking behind the scenes secrets, Mike.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. yeah. Shall we talk about that, Mr. Pieman? Giving away secrets on stream.
Hey.
Too soon.
That's not fair.
I know. I'm sorry. I apologise for that. You know, I love you, man. I don't think we've got a lot more to talk about really on the stream, other than I mean, we don't have any more questions as far as I know. Let me just have a quick scroll. No, we don't.
We've got a new highlight reel.
Oh, we do, don't we? Memories in 8-bit has been super busy,
and it's really, really dang good.
It's really good. He's getting better and better.
But to understand it, it makes sense to also watch the previous highlight reel, so you get some of the jokes even better. Like,
yes,
we're
the masters of in jokes on GOGCom.
Yeah.
It amuses us, okay? That's what's most important. It makes us smile and us laugh. And you know what? And every now and then other people get it, and it's a bonus.
I'm just gonna say this, man. Where else do you going to see Princess Darth Maul?
That's true.
Nowhere.
That is true.
You'll find that nowhere else.
Yes.
Because he's a Disney princess now.
Yep.
That's true.
That is true. Genuinely.
Very good point.
Oh, man.
Oh, dearie me. Yeah, so definitely check out the highlight reel. I'm sure somebody will throw a link in chat. If not, we will throw a link in just after the stream. And that's your lot for this GOGCast. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed it. It's been a bit weird having the whole headset set up, so hopefully the audio levels have been okay. If not, well, it's too late now. Yeah, I've been talking to myself for the last 2 hours. That's pretty much it. Don't forget to tune in to Chrono Wolf stream next. Again, I apologise, Mr. Chrono Wolf, I have forgotten what you're playing, but there is a raffle taking place early on in the stream, or at some point in the stream, where you can get involved in Chrono Wolf chiptune creation, so definitely get involved in that. Also, don't forget to keep an eye out on Sunday on the channel, because there will potentially be a pre-release stream of Necropolis with Pier and Jade and Darksaber 2K and Memories in 8-bit, which is going to be cool and awesome, because those two together are just mental, to be perfectly honest. I mean, individually they're pretty crazy, but together you times it by 3 and it's just insane. But yeah, I'd like to thank everybody. Thank you very much, Mega Pieman. Thank you very much, Psyche, and thank you very much, Pier and Jade, for joining me on tonight's show. It's genuinely lovely to have you all here.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to be here.
Always wonderful.
It is. I love doing it. Thank you, chat. Thank you for tuning in. I absolutely adore you guys. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to go watch more SGDQ.
Yeah, that's alright, so am I.
I'm watching Chrono Wolf, you traitor.
dual stream, it's fine. Multi-Twitch. Right, we're out. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.